The blue conduit, a flawed gate. Sounds crazy, right? Did we actually see a conduit back in Xenoblade 3? Yes and no, but mostly yes. This theory was part of a larger video, but decided to make it its own. So, as to not leave you hanging, I mean this thing. Stay with me, I believe there's a strong case to be made here. Before I go deeper, the main points are: the conduit, connected to and governed by Ontos and the Trinity, is a gateway between universes, used as an infinite source of energy, connected to the rift between worlds, where all consciousness and souls as light modes go. It was at the heart of the orbital station where Klaus wanted to use it and lead them to a new world. The rift is a rift or hole connection between worlds to the outside, governed by Ontos inside the arc made by his blueprints. It can also be used as a source of energy, transport from one universe to another, and light modes seem to be flowing from it. It was at the heart of the arc from where Alpha wanted to depart to a new universe. But that's just the surface. We'll delve into the spirit of the world, avatars, need for organics, the dark matter code of mechs connected to it, etc. But the main idea is that this is a young or unstable attempt of materializing the conduit again, or an imitation of it, as we have seen the conduit without its shape twice already. And it's basically a door as well. This will be like an intermediate state or almost fully realized. Origins arc being made to contain and control it as a means to connect the worlds between them and the outside, as the universe was split and seemingly isolated, allowing things through the medium of light to communicate. As the conduit is known as gate in Japanese, let's call this thing a failed gate, a back door or a window. Okay, on with the detailed analysis. So, I'm stating this rift inside the very core of Origin is the conduit, or a flawed gate. But what do we know about the conduit or gate to begin with? The ultimate matter, multiverse joint or manifold, a gateway connecting universes, their link between worlds. It is a glowing white monolith that defied the laws of energy, so technologically advanced that they had to connect it to an advanced AI, the Trinity processor, a super biocomputer to maintain it and govern it, whatever those words imply. Important to mention, the processors, with organic components, were trained in VR to get personality. So, based on that, and Cross seems being organic and sentient is a factor to properly use it. Professor Klaus in Radamanthus' phase transition experiment facility became obsessed with its possibilities, desiring to take them to a new world. Executing the experiment with unconfirmed results and a Trinity sync rate of 96%, whether it means between them or them with the conduit. He activated the conduit, blue light coming from it, moving around the ring, engulfing Earth, turning it into light, and leaving briefly, only for the phase transition to fail. Some stuff lost to distant dimensions, and the universe itself cleft in two different worlds of opposite matter. Side note, could this blue light be the original light that surrounded and phase-shifted Earth trapped here? Klaus, who activated it, was left behind and split between both worlds. The Trinity's arbiter, Ontos, was lost into the Bionis world, becoming one with the fabric of reality, sustaining that world, providing power, godhood, or admin rights and bodies to Klaus and Galdea's souls. You could say, being the spirit of this world, he became a conduit or wave existence equivalent there, as he provides energy, physics, and connects to the outside world, while the physical conduit that started all of this was trapped in Allrest along Klaus, tied to his existence. Fast forward, Klaus' soul was killed in Bionis, Hence, he started to disappear in Allrest, along the conduit, also living in light modes. Bionis' world reset itself, and with no conduit that separated them in the first place, and no Alvis, as Shulk desired for a world with no gods. Curious that time stopped in this moment prior to destruction and recreation. The worlds of positive and negative matter attracted themselves to become one again, at the cost of annihilation, plus and minus colliding, turning everything into energy, light. Also, Alvis and Alpha both died in a similar way. White background, blue modes, the core seemingly disappearing the first time, appearing after the rift from Future Connected. Did he return to the rift or the conduit upon death? A rift appears in both worlds. Well, it's just one rift, but they are getting closer. Even beings are starting to cross from one side to another, getting energy from the rift to sustain themselves in the worlds of opposite matter. Ontos' core appears again, and will do through the rift again later on. They manage to establish communications through light and build Origin, an arc based on Ontos' architecture that will allow them to record and store their souls and worlds' blueprints into light. So, after the intersection or collision, when those universes cease to exist, Origin alone would outlive them and rematerialize everything again. Birth of a new unified universe. We know that, thanks to Mobius, Origin's reboot system didn't trigger. In case it didn't work, they chose to freeze and isolate the world with its power instead, ending in an unstable, borderline non-existence outside reality state, with the worlds of opposite matter partially attached. More overlapping or time moving forwards equals annihilation events, plus and minus into too close contact, overheating and turning into light. Ontos, reborn as Alpha, decided both sides were obsolete, and following his original directive, chose to take humans to the next level and abandoning the stagnation, took the new life, people from the city, as his chosen people, and prepared to depart this collapsing universe and go into a new one, to go and travel outside this universe, so into the rift between worlds, with Origin. And at the heart of its workings, there's what's known as the Ark, that contains the massive rift. Without Origin in Ionios, that world cannot be sustained and will collapse. But we know a gate and massive amounts of energy are needed to jump universes, basically doing a second experiment. How is Origin capable of making another phase transition, space-time transition, like the orbital station, that had the Trinity and the Conduit? Or the White Whale 2, that had the Ares and the cores? All we got is Origin, being based on Ontos, and the Rift at its core, with this white beam of light that is a door to outside, by the looks of it, barely remaining open, unstable, shapeless, a flawed gate. If you think of it, it doesn't look too different from the wave existence, that which actually powered the Zohar in the first place, or the conduit, and the future connected and future redeemed rift are kinda alike. White while emitting colored energy around it, both being basically gateways to outsider worlds. We are told the Fog King is receiving energy from it to keep appearing and remain stable. As long as the rift is present, he'll continue to regenerate. In Future Redeemed, we can see light modes coming from it, in a similar fashion to Xenoblade Cross DE, when the Ares, which is basically the conduit with a body, summoned light modes or souls from the rift between worlds as well. So, gates leading to outside their world and provide energy. Also, at the center of two facilities that performed phase transition events, both linked to ontos to govern or sustain it. For me, that's like a conduit. Klaus ended up connected to the conduit somehow. When his soul, Sansa, died, the conduit left this plane as well. Maybe that's the whole origin avatar thing. They need someone connected to it, maintaining it, sustaining this pseudo conduit or floodgate. So Origin's link is not severed. Origin to keep on working and Ionios can keep existing, frozen in this intermediate phased state. The conduit was governed by the biocomputer. Origin's rift needed people on it. Ares needed a living pilot. It's all connected. But Alpha was described as being just a machine, as he needed people of the city for a source of energy, according to Z and N, in order to depart with the Ark from this world. That also matches what we discussed about the conduit or equivalents needing organic, sentient beings to fully use it. The contact. In this case, Alpha wanted people born from Ionios, not the plus and minus worlds, as the latter were tied by the Mobius rules, while city people were free from that system's shackles and left directly in golden light modes. Seems he needed those, and the people, to use the pseudo-conduit or floodgate inside the Ark and depart, just like the biocomputer trinity with the conduit or Alice and Aloys. And let's not forget that in Xenoblade 3's concept art, aside from the conduit motif being more referenced, even Pheroneses connected to Origin had it, but we saw the area that would later be the Ark, a horizontal split in space, the rift, and light from the abyss or horizon. Looks like Xenogears' Zohar Eye, which was the original Zohar, as the monolith containing it was said to be artificial, and we saw conduits all around, in the shape of the Zohar. I have no doubt this was for the Ark, memory space, rift between worlds, and the Zohars seem bluish and translucent, more to the blue conduit theory. We could extract a similar idea from here. The gear Zohar actually being the eye could apply here. The conduit shape we know it's just a door or a container or a hole. The white light that is inside is the important thing, which could be the path to heaven at the end of the abyss, something like this. Now, Ion, the ultimate artifice with 6 cores, one being made by the fusion of the Trinity, which was capable of destroying the planet. They were supposed to activate the conduit and link it to it, but they never did. RIP potential mech. But we have 3 mechs in Blade that have successfully connected with the conduit in some form. First, Ares, a mech made to contain the 6 soul cores made from the conduit itself. You could say it was the conduit incarnate. Was metallic but got a dark matter space yellow coat, a texture of outer space. Same for the Beta, a mech made by Void worshippers as his new body and also capable of containing the cores from the conduit, also sporting this outer space texture. Now, there's another mech that also sports not only a space texture but the very same one, just a different color. And following today's video about the conduit as the soul of the world, a mech linked to it, Alpha's final form, shares this texture with Ares and the Vita. The rift brought and materialized this form after all, changed color after we destroyed it and Alpha, and the mask, as discussed early in this channel, looks like Ion's face, as both Ion and Alpha are Deus equivalents. Could also apply to the Trinity cores perhaps? They also reflect the very same texture of space inside it. They are like a window to the outside, to the beyond. Maybe they got this coat after they were hooked to the conduit and got esoteric overworldly knowledge. So, Origin being a recorder and a phase transition device. With this rift, being a pseudo or unstable conduit or gate at the heart of it. That would make Origin's core the thing that governs it, the Trinity processor-like. After all, Origin was built based upon Ontos architecture. They weren't able to make it smaller. And just as Ontos engulfed us in light to take us to memory space to fight Sansa, Origin, upon Mobius crying, also engulfed us, leading us to a memory space also similar to where we fought Sansa. Side note, number 6. Origin's core has 6 cores. Maybe it's because each side built this Trinity processor, and each side has 3 admin or keys: Melia, Shulk and Fiora, and Nia, Rex and Pithra. While Malos died and left Ulrest long ago, so he's not from either of these, but an outsider. And, speaking of the core, it's pink, like Zed. It engulfs us in light as we fight Mobius, in something akin to Sansa's arena, memory space. He's blocking the way to the light. We defeat it. We appear in this memory space illusion. No American suburb this time as Alpha is gone. Take the decision to move forward and outside, and now the core shines blue now, like the rift, the soul of the world that is blue, at the heart of Origin, where A, Shulk and Rex went. The rift and conduit being just doors and non-tangible objects would make this a keyhole? Oh no, Kingdom Hearts is light! The fully realized or defined conduit, although governed by others, appears to have some degree of sentience, but mostly serves the will of others. The rift as well is used. Alpha was able to control the fog beasts as his servants, as he had the rift. As Alvis also brought phantoms back in Xenoblade 1. A and Co just sustained it later. No idea if they could or would control fog, as that would risk the world. But to sustain the rift doesn't mean control Origin, as it seems you have to become an observer admin, like Ontos before Future Redeem. Upon deciding to screw Ionios, he left the rift, destabilizing Ionios until A and Co fixed it. While in both occasions, when someone was inside the rift, Mobius seized control of Origin and its core from outside. There are purple Mobius droids made of fog everywhere. No idea if there's a correlation. As Alpha died, wouldn't this flawed conduit disappear instantly like when Klaus died? Not really, as in Klaus' side, his soul, Sansa, died, hence he fully vanished. While in Ionios, Alpha, the machine part, died, but A still exists. If the heart of Origin, the soul of the world, is a conduit, using its energy to sustain the time stop, and the soldiers and life energy flow circulation to keep the gate open and stable, would the Ouroboros cores be conduit or gate emulators? They are tied to Origin pieces in a way, allowed to draw huge amounts of energy, and like the rift, they are made by the intersection of two worlds. Minigate? But keeping this for too long results in heightening, losing control of it, and attracts the black fog, as the friction between plus and minus is too much in this stop-timed world. Or, in other words, they open a fissure to outside they cannot control. Mini experiment failures, as everything turns into light. Not to be confused with the RS cores, which seem to be made of the conduit directly. Also, and stepping a bit into the original topic before this video, maybe the conduit, this gateway, this keyhole, is what allows a universe to get souls, all coming from the origin of it all, beyond the abyss. And once they die, they return to it. Something like, the reason why the conduit was on Earth is why there was life there to begin with? As in Gears, all life came from the Zohar? With soul modes flowing from it. Only Sansa and Maineth's souls, along Ontos, went to the Bionis universe. yet connected to Albis and the conduit by proxy, they created many more souls. But that's from another video. Crazy theory! The Trinity processor was a biocomputer, had organic components. I imagine something akin to DNA or tissue somewhere inside these vessels. But, hear me out. What if Klaus' cells or tissue samples were in Onto's core? Klaus was connected to the conduit, hence when he died the conduit left. And Ontos, now Albis, became one with the fabric of reality in the world of Bionis, and controls the rifts. Of course, Ontos was directly connected to the conduit, but Klaus activated it from a distance with the press of a button. He didn't touch it or anything. Or did he? A biocomputer with organic components, and A said his original, Albis or Ontos, was shaped by Klaus' regret, like a core crystal, which we know store DNA, data and memories of their drivers and users, and are connected in a soul level. Furthermore, the Trinity was raised in VR to be like humans, and we have seen two human forms of Ontos, Albis and A. And who else has those features? White hair, dark skin, blue eyes, and was also the only survivor among Klaus to be sent to Bionis world? Galea. So maybe Klaus and Galea's DNA were in Albis. A complicated way to say they made a child. Perhaps a Xenogears callback to Emeralda. This was, in fact, part of an unreleased theory compilation video I wrote in September 2024. I teased it, but never finished it. The thumbnail I never used. Maybe the conduit, after Xenoblade 2 with Logos and Numa dying, now with Ontos remaining, made the rift or floodgate orange. And with Future Redeem's Alpha's demise, the conduit is now blue. Will it change color after A, Shulk and Rex join in yellow modes? Or upon future Logos return it will be purple? Just a thought. Looking forward to seeing the conduit being reassembled fully in Xenoblade 4. Perhaps blue. I hope I can release the other conduit video I was writing originally, and mostly the Xenoblade 4 videos I promised, a couple of short ones, and some collab videos. But what do you think of this topic and all of its points? Am I into something here? Like the Afterlife and Grade 1 videos? If true, could this be relevant for the next game? Anyways, that will be it for today. Have a good one.